Okay, just want to make sure that we are live right now. Let me see. Awesome, awesome. How's everybody? Okay, let me just make sure everything's in place. Give me a second. Okay, and I think my audio is fine. Okay, cool. Great, great. I'm so excited today. Just give me a second while I just set everything in order before we begin. All right. So, guys, is layout the most important or also important for your purchase? Okay, so I think I have gotten quite a lot of inquiries, consumers, buyers who come back, and certainly they are all very, they always want to look at today's when they buy a property, can they sell? And I just also had a client who reached out to us and says that, hey, I'm very interested in buying a penthouse. And should I buy this penthouse because of the space? You see, so just to give you an idea, we always want to start looking at layouts for any type of properties, whether it's a new property or a resale property. And the reason is because layout forms a very important element for any buyers because they're buying it for their own stay. They want a certain size, certain layout kind of type. And I had a lot of discussions with various homeowners before, and many of them have purchased multiple times and sold multiple times as well. For those who have started your own current property journey, right? I do see that a lot of common trend out there is that we are always looking at, oh, what kind of layout is the best type. And because there's so many variations and sometimes you get confused. And is layout really crucial when you want to sell? Is layout actually very crucial? You have to ask yourself, right? And I do agree that the layout is a very important factor because no matter what kind of property you buy, when you buy it, or whether it's the first hand, second hand, third hand, fourth hand, doesn't matter, new or resale, ultimately, someone next who is a person who will buy, right? They will look at all the different things, the toilet, the size, the balcony space, all these things before they buy your property. And if you don't take layout into your account, you're going to lose a lot of money because your layout, although it may seem cheap, it may be, oh, you buy the first property, but if the layout doesn't justify for the next buyer to live in, to see themselves able to stay, or even for a tenant to be staying, then you are putting your property at a big risk of potentially losing a lot of money. So layout actually is one of the 5 key criteria that we use in our REI method to identify the correct types. Okay, so that's why we dive very, very deeply, not just one criteria, but 5 different criteria before we even start buying a property. So we always go through discussions like this before we accept, okay, this is the right property for us to buy. Of course, there's many different reasons, the prices, the entry price, a lot of all these details. See, so we have a guide to guide all the buyers out there, whether you're buying for own stay or for investment, right? There is a systematic guideline that we use in our REI method to help you identify the property. All right, so if you have not subscribed to my channel and this is the first time that you are hearing from me, right? I want you guys to really smash the subscribe button and put the bell. There's a bell on the side, right? There is a notification. Click on it also, so that every time when I do videos like this, you'll be one of the first to actually get notified and you can actually learn more about property matters. And if let's say you also need help in terms of your property selection, okay, whether it's the property type, property layout, or even prices, right? Do reach out to us as well because we have a very systematic approach and a proven method, the REI method, to guide you as a homeowner to make sure that you're confident in entering the market. So do give me some likes, okay, and loves to do this for the benefit of you out there. And also want to thank all the community out there and followers suggesting that today's what I'm going to share with you later on is actually very important for your own decision-making process. Okay. And I also want to share with you my perspective too. Okay. Today, we are going to compare the big 3 in the East. Okay. Mainly the Continuum, Tembusu Grand, as well as the final one, Grand Dunman. Yes. So I have this new update of research that I've done, and we're going to use Grand Dunman to compare layouts to the rest of the 2 other properties in District 15. So we want to find out if Grand Dunman is really so good with the layout with all the hype and all the marketing out there that I'm sure you are bombarded every single day in your social media, everywhere. Okay, so we're going to dive into it to see whether Grand Dunman compared to the Continuum as well as Tembusu Grand, how does the layout speaks for itself, okay? And this is going to be my very, very honest views of how I personally been in the business since 2008 until now. I've seen so many thousands of different layouts. How do they compare out? So, of course, at the same time, please also do your due diligence for all the different projects. Whatever we share here, do also still go down to the show flat, and at least you're able to see it and feel it physically. And if you need personal advice or personalized tour from me personally, right? All right, my details are somewhere in the description. You can actually try to reach out to me, and we can make arrangements to do the booking for you to take a look at some of all these show flats with guided tour. Okay, very, very important. If you are looking at show flats yourself, sometimes there are small little things that you may have missed out, and you will not be able to recover if, let's say, you just go ahead and purchase that property. Okay, give me a second. Let me just make sure that we're on the right page. All right, so let's go into it right now. Let me share my screen. All right, so today's session is very interesting because we're going to compare the three different projects layout, and I'm going to cover everything from 1 bedroom all the way to the final 5 bedroom. Okay, everything I'm going to go in detail. So stick with me. Okay, at the end of the session, if there's any during the sessions, if you have any questions, feel free to just reach out to me, and I'll be able to most of it to help. So let me just confirm and see us to make sure that everything is in order. Great. All right, cool. We're still live. Sometimes I always have to check back. No choice. Okay, so because we are using Grand Dunman as the guideline to compare to the Continuum as well as the Tembusu Grand. So I just want to give you a quick overview about how the for Grand Dunman, how they have put in the number of units. And if you can see from here, right, they really go all out. This is a very big size project, okay, 1,000 units, okay, and they actually fit in every single type of configurations that you can get, from 1 bedroom to 1 plus study, 2 bedroom, two bedroom dual key, okay, which is very interesting. Later on, we will see whether the 2 bedroom dual key does it, and the 2 bedroom, what's the main differences. Okay, we even have 2 bed plus study, 3 bedroom dual key. Basically, you have all the different type of combination. Okay, everything. Okay, so one thing I want just to give you guys a quick summary, right? Just do take note that for Grand Dunman as well as Tembusu Grand, both of these plots are government land sales, and the Continuum is the only one of these three that is en bloc purchase. And why do I want to share with you this? The differences is for any GLS plot of land, right? When they build their properties, it's like Lego, it's like our HDB, you blah, 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 you know, a Lego type of a building process. Whereas for en bloc properties, right, they are able to have the walls hacked in the unit. So this is one of the flexibility for the Continuum that you'll be able to achieve if you want to talk about a very quick differences between these three different projects. So this is the general look of Grand Dunman. Of course, if I look at how Grand Dunman is putting out all the different type of configurations for the layout, right, I would say that they are trying to maximize whatever they can. Okay, the number of units, when I do a breakdown, it really focuses a lot on the 1 and 2 bedrooms layout, and even the, because they have every single combination you can see, basically everything that you can get out to squeeze in the space to compare with Continuum as well as Tembusu Grand, right? Because Continuum only starts with a 2+1, right? You see, so this speaks a lot. And the way I see is developer is trying to definitely maximize their profits by creating more configurations. And then my next question is, how will the profiles of this entire environment going to be? Because there are so many different types, right? Which means we are going to have quite a huge mix of different types of buyers, homeowners, or even tenants, you see, in this location. So do take note, we are talking about District 15, although Grand Dunman is actually on the fringe of District 15. Just one, what do you call it, traffic light away, you're in D14 already. Okay, so it's that close. It's that close. All right, so but just remember D15 is still considered a very prestige area. And the key thing is that today, if we are talking about prime locations in Singapore, we're talking about D9, D10, D11. And then the next one is D15 already. So if there is going to be a different pool, a wider pool of different ownerships in this Grand Dunman, I don't know. But I do have my concerns, like who will be the one staying there? What kind of profiles? Would it be too diversified or mixed? Okay, so because I still, being an Easterner myself as well, I also still want a certain kind of prestige of like, oh, I'm staying in District 15, and I want to have some grandness, a little bit ataness that, hey, my property here is no joke. That kind of, those who stay in the East, you will know lah. And I'm sure a lot of homeowners in the East are also feeling the same way. And also another thing, just take note that even though Grand number of units is about 1,008 units released, that means per unit. One small thing that I think as a homeowner you may have missed out is that, remember, there are dual key. There are dual key units. So dual key units also adds up to the capacity, right? So we're talking about maybe an additional 70 to 80 units because of this dual key, which means your total number of capacity goes up, not just the 1,008 that was marketed. It actually goes up to maybe even close to 1,080 people. I mean, the per capacity per unit. All right, so this is something during my research that I realized sometimes homeowners missed out, and whatever they will take in whatever that's been advertised. So why you need somebody professional enough who have done this and for so many years and seen so many different types, is to kind of pick up small little factors like this to help us make better informed decision. Okay, my role as an advisor is always to provide you the knowledge, the information, the data that you don't have, and provide you a different perspective of how we see property so that you and your family can make an informed decision moving forward. And that is primarily our goal. All right, so let us take a look at the one bedroom. Okay, so these are all floor plans already provided by the developers. Of course, along the way, could there be something still adjusted to change? I will always believe that before you buy anything, always check back. You can check back with us whether this is the final layout. I don't think they're going to make any major changes because they're going to launch soon also. All right, so that one bedroom layout, you cannot go too far off with much differences. But the thing is, they have a lot of, even the type of units, they have so many different configuration. So they have this one for one bedroom. They call it BR1, right? Okay, so later on you will take note that along the different 2, 3, 4 bedroom, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of different layout types. Okay, so and we're going to study what are the main differences for each of them also. And we're going to do this to compare with the Continuum as well as Tembusu Grand. And I'm going to tell you the differences. What are the layouts that other projects don't have, which one Grand Dunman has, which one Tembusu have. So at least you have a better understanding. And this is very painful to actually do the research. But because I know that this is so important for you out there, right, that you don't have somebody to really guide you on layouts. And I believe this is going to be very, very beneficial for you, especially if today you are already considering to buy either one of these three. I would say that go through this session and also reach out to us so that we can give you a more personalized approach based on your objective and how do you want the layout. All right, so one bedroom layouts, you can't run too far away for the configuration. And as per common, you have a long runway. Okay, your long entrance. And I think the advantage is that because here they have a gap that you can actually build in your shoe cabinet, okay, which is always the missing part in a lot of one bedroom. And not only you can build the shoe cabinet, what is missing here is also storeroom. Okay, storeroom is also something that no matter we can kind of pamper ourselves, say that it's okay lah, I don't need the store. I will say that the storeroom in every single unit is very, very important when it comes to selling the property. So some things we don't want to shortchange ourselves, we just assume everything is the best. I think let's do some reality check on the real buyers out there. What are their main concerns so that before we buy, we already think of some of all this. So this is bedroom 1, the first version, and this is the second version. And you can see what is the main difference. The main difference is the second version is a shorter runway. Okay, shorter entrance, the foyer. But of course, what are you giving up on? You're giving up on the space that you can put in your shoe lah. Because right now this is just stuck in. You don't have additional space for cabinet. So a lot of buyers sometimes they are concerned. Oh, mine is a open longish kitchen. My corridor is very long. Is my entrance is very long. It's no good. So it really depends on the layout. Like just now I show you the first layout. This long layout is still workable because we can put in the shoe cabinet. But then, although bedroom 2, we have a shorter entrance, but then you don't have space for this. So it really also depends on what is your main objective and what is important to you as a homeowner or buying as an investor. Okay, so you must really, really be very clear in this. Because if not, any property can also buy one. I can tell you, every property out there you can buy. It's a matter of how you sell it. So today, by going through our assessment, our consultations, our clients have the benefit of thinking further of how are they going to sell this property before they buy. Does it make sense? Okay, so this is what we always advocate in our consultations to our clients, that before you start buying this property, you must already think how this property can suit the future buyers, how this property can sell to the next buyer, and then we start thinking how we should buy, whether this property is something that we can buy. So far, so good. Okay, so let's look at the comparison for with the one bedroom. If let's say we look at one bedroom types, then we will have to look at this is also another configuration that you can see. So this is the bigger one bedroom. Okay, you can see the size is 549. The previous ones are all 452 size. So this is bigger, which is why you can see you have a study space. All right, so this is a one bedroom plus study configuration, and this is the one that I'm going to use it to compare, because the rest of the properties, they have 1+1. So but one thing that I'm wondering is, why did they put in the study right in front? So it's very rare. If you have seen enough layouts, it's very rare to see the study room in front of the entire layout. And of course you have let me just clean this up so that you can see better. So it's come with a sliding door. Okay, this is a sliding door. And so I will share with you my thought whenever I see layouts, and you all can share in the comment whether is this important to you or not, or whether does this make sense or not, so that at least I know how you guys are also thinking, and maybe this can translate for developers to also take note and do it better. Okay, so the one thing that when I saw from this 1+1 layout, I think size wise is comparable, but one thing I not really agree on is like, hey, my kitchen is facing the toilet. Do you all see this? Well, of course, we understand because of the placement of the study in front instead of at the back, right? Then no choice lah. You have to push everything down, and then now your kitchen is facing the bathroom, which most of the time you close your door lah. But I don't know. You are cooking here, you are doing everything, and then the toilet is just beside you. And remember, for one bedroom, there's no ventilation, right? Everything is mechanical ventilation. So and do take note, the 1+ study, there are 3 more layouts. Okay, there are 3 more layouts, which but a lot of them are on ground floor types. So very limited choices. And I also have done another set of research, is I compile for all Grand Dunman so that you can see the layout comparison, because there are just so many different types, right? Even for the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, there are 2 to 3 types. And it's very difficult to see them one by one. So I've done another set of compilation where, if let's say for 1+ study, there are 3 different layouts, I already put them all in one. So for the benefit of you to choose a better layout easier, okay, do reach out for me if you want this. I can also run through with you in person which type of layout, in my opinion, is the best for your objective. So there are 3 layouts for 1+1. Okay, and of course, some of them later I'll share with you which one are the ones that are on ground floor. So there are very limited choices. And there is one layout that I particularly like. Okay, so later on I also will share with you a little more. Okay, so let us compare this. So this is Grand Dunman. Let us compare the 1+1 to Tembusu Grand right now. So Tembusu Grand, the configuration will be a little bit different. They have their study right at the back. Okay, which is usually the typical type that we see. Okay, so it's either in the center or at the back. So Grand Dunman is the only one that does it in front. So very rare. So it could be something that is worth to consider if you want uniqueness. And if you can see what Grand Dunman's issue with the kitchen facing the toilet, you don't get it here. Because why? Whatever they're cooking is facing a study area, which of course, if you want to, you can easily still enclose it with a sliding door concept. So this is the typical layout that we usually see in 1+ study. The study is not enclosed. So you can either do it as storage, a study area. Although for Tembusu Grand, the one thing I see is that the runway is super long. You can see that the runway is extra long before the entire kitchen starts. So this is something that we must take note of. And the longer runway allows us to build storage if we want to. So this is storage. I always take consideration for storage because 1 bedroom and 1+ study, you really don't have much space. So you really want to build extra things in to help you with your normal daily lifestyle. But the key thing is that if you build in the storage, do you realize that now the walkway is rather tight already on the sides, or rather tight? So this one is something that we have to think through. Another areas that I see that may not be as well is the dining. Okay, your dining is technically facing the toilet, which is as much as we can, Singaporean, Chinese, we also try to avoid you see some kind of this kind of configuration. All right, so Tembusu Grand, now you can see the main difference between Grand Dunman. And then let's look at the continuum. Okay, the continuum, what's the main difference? So for the continuum, right, 1+ study, their sizes are almost the same one. Or you can't run too far away from the sizes, so don't worry about the sizes. But layout, because today we are all talking about layout. So layout wise, what they have done is they put the entire study in the center. So that's why you can see 3 different types of layout for different projects. That's why you need somebody to really do all this research for you. Can you imagine yourself if you go to a show flat and you only went to there? You'll be sold until the count come home that the property no issue. But when you want to sell, every buyer will start comparing these 3 projects. Agree or not? So when somebody, the buyer, the resale, when it comes to resale, when somebody want to buy a property, they will sure compare these 3. And then they will start studying the layout because they will go there, they will see that, hey, how come this is like that? Why this other development is like that? Then they will make a better choice in terms of which layout is best. So now I already done for you. So next time when you want to buy a resale property, you just pull out my videos. no need to go down even. You can use my video and then make a decision for yourself. So for continuum, right, we're talking about study in the center. So I think it's quite cleverly done by the continuum developer, to kind of give it a little bit twist. Because right now, your toilet now is tucked away in one corner, and the opening is not to the front. Okay, it's on to the study area, which is fine because then you will not have the issue with what I shared just now, your toilet facing the dining or your toilet facing the kitchen area. So totally this one you don't have. Okay. But one thing extra to take note, continuum, how come this one also stands out in my opinion is because they are able to fit in a storeroom already for you. So this is a storeroom. So instead of you needing to do your own storeroom or cabinets, right, the developer already provided this additional provision, which is very cleverly laid out, if you ask me. Because even when they put in this storage, they did not shortchange you in terms of the working space. So this is something that I think very cleverly laid out. And I believe if developers, they do their homework, maybe in future, all the 1+ study will be this kind of configuration, which gives homeowners a better value for money. So sometimes I see some developers layout, I also question, how come you will do this kind of layout? Why? Buyers see already also may not why, but ultimately people still buy it. I also don't know why. Okay, so this one, just take note, your dining, you have more than enough space here so that you don't feel claustrophobic. A lot of times when you're buying 1 bedroom, when you go in, it's very narrow. But this one, because of the study in the center, it does give you the space to move around, which is something that I believe is a very good touch. Okay, so if you have any comments regarding this, like what you see, what you like, what you don't like, what you hope that you can get more in a 1 bedroom, do always put in your comment, and what kind of videos do you really like to help you with in terms of property, and we can help you to do more such. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed, do subscribe before we continue. All right, so let us study the 2 bedroom. Okay, 2 bedroom, wow, this one also a lot of different layout. So just take note. there are different versions lah. So okay, 2-bedroom, I think the size wise is great. 667. Okay, 667 size square feet. Not much different configuration, but the one that Grand Dunman does is they now created a 2-bed 1-bath. Okay, remember this is a 2-bed 1-bath configuration, which the other two projects don't have. And I believe why they do this is they want to keep the sizes smaller so the quantum can be acceptable in today's market. All right, so there's always a strategy behind the developers. And that's why for Tembusu, Grand, and as well as the Continuum, they only do 2-bed 2-bath. Perhaps they want to go a little bit more prime, a little bit more atas lah. But for Grand Dunman, I don't know. When I see the entire layout, the number of units, I do feel that it's very mass. Okay, it's a very mass market kind of development, but you are in D15. So I don't know, maybe this is a new age of generation able to accept such concept. Let's see how it fares and what's the prices lah. Okay, so for 2-bed 1-bath, so this is the typical dumbbell concept, and they only are able to do this with a 2-bed 1-bath concept. Later on, we will study a little bit more. So you have of course, your dining, you can either put it here or you can always put it on the side lah. So this one, I think a small issue, or some of them, they will even put it all the way to the balcony for your dining. So this is quite common right now. And once you enter, the entire space is still comfortable for a 2-bed 1-bath. So the thing is, if let's say today, based on your investment amount, there's limitations. So a lot of people like to just go for a 2-bed 1-bath. But me personally, okay, I would say that if you can stretch yourself a little bit, or try to go for a 2-bed 2-bath. Always go for the 2-bed 2-bath. I think the acceptance in future minimum will be at least a 2-bed 2-bath already. Or our future 2-bed 1-bath will become like our 1-bed 1-bed 1-study in future. Or because the size, GFA, everything has changed. So future developments, you need to think through what are the future buyers thinking about in terms of their space. All right, so this is the 2-bed 1-bath configuration. Okay, so they have another design, same size. Okay, another design. So not much difference, you can see. Or size wise is also the same. It's just that the foyer area, now you have a wider foyer. But your dining, I don't know. They draw it this way. I also scared. You can see it's just right beside, and then you can put your dining here lah, or you put your dining here lah. Okay, then makes more sense. Or sometimes the drawing on the layout, please do also use some creativity to start thinking. Okay, whether does this work or not. So this one is the 2-bed 1-bath configuration. Okay, let's see. Let's see this. Okay, the next one, let's see, is the dual key one. Okay, so dual key, 2-bedroom dual key, so it's almost like you are having a 2-bed 2-bath. But the dual key concept, why people like to buy this, there's one reason is maybe they max out their ability to purchase already. So today, if I can get 2 units for under the same name, I don't need to pay the EBSD. All right, so that's one configuration. Another one is that, hey, I just use it for rental. I can rent 2 units out separately, or I can configure this as 1 unit to rent it out as a 2-bed 2-bath also at the same time. So 2-bed dual key, if for those who have not been in the market, it's seldom seen nowadays. Most of the developments don't have. But for Cindior, it's kind of their signature to always have dual keys in their development. So now you can see that for their first version, dual key, definitely dual key is always to maximize your rental, which is why now imagine 1 unit already can have 1 occupant. Then now with dual key is ×2. So that means the overall maximum capacity of home ownership also kind of increase. The number of people increases in Grand Dunman. So you must take note of that. So for this one, the quite typical, you have one side which is the full bedroom plus the master bath. So this is considered number 1. And then you have like a studio in number 2 where you have your own pantry area and your open concept bedroom. So this is more for rental. for dual key. Okay, really for rental. And they also have another layout. So this is the first layout for dual key. The second layout is slightly different. Your space usage. Okay, you have a longer foyer and you have a longer corridor here. So it really depends on what purpose and pricing, especially. Because they did not do a lot of layouts. I mean, number of units. They only have one stack each for each dual key. So if you really want to chong the dual key type, remember there are also limited units. Also, when there's limited units, what will happen to price? And moreover, those who buy dual key, we know that it's purely for investment. So how will the prices like? That one we will have to see what's the launch later on. Okay. So we're going to do also a comparison because this one is considered like a 2-bed, 2-bath or 2-bed, 2-bath. Because for Grand Dunman, they don't have 2-bed, 2-bath. They go straight to 2-bed plus study. So the only way to compare the 2-bed, 1-bath as well as 2-bed dual key is to take Continuum as well as Tembusu's 2-bed, 2-bath to see the space. Okay, so let us take a look. So this is Tembusu Grand. So only Tembusu Grand as well as the Continuum, we will have 2-bed, 2-bath configuration. So this is important. And if you see how Tembusu does, I like this. The reason why, because they have tuck-in kitchen. Okay, their kitchen is kind of a C-shaped tuck-in. So it's not along the main corridor kind of situation, which gives me access for space for my entrance. So this is important. And because I can tuck in this kitchen, I now have a proper provision for my dining space. So this is definitely a plus point if you're considering 2-bed plus 2-bath. Okay, this is important to look at for Tembusu Grand. So this is a plus for me. Of course, for the Continuum, let's take a look. The Continuum layout for the 2-bed, 2-bath, and I'm using always almost the same size. This is 667 square feet. So generally, we all know for the Continuum, all the layouts are being given a storeroom. Okay, are given a storeroom. Or they have an additional provision which allows you to keep your things instead of building additional cabinets and waste of space. So this one, the kitchen is slightly different from what you saw in Tembusu Grand, even for Grand Dunman, is they split the kitchen. Okay, A and B. They split the kitchen both sides, but yet I still have a comfortable walkway into my unit, which gives it a very comfortable space usage. I think this is very important because most of the time when the kitchen is too long, we tend not to go for it. Okay, if the kitchen is too long and then you can't build anything on it. But this one, because they kind of split the kitchen, which is a good touch. And when you enter, you still have enough walkway throughout the entire living and dining. So do take note, Grand Dunman don't have two sides of kitchen, right? They are always one side. Also, it's one long kitchen throughout all the different layouts for the 2 bedrooms. Grand Dunman don't have. Tembusu Grand, at least you're getting a C shape. And for Continuum, you're getting 2 sides. So I think the kitchen space for 2 bedroom has to be kind of decent now. If not, the configuration will be not useful. All right, so share with me in your comment, out of a 2-bed, 2-bath configuration, out of the 3, Grand Dunman, the Continuum, as well as Tembusu Grand, which one do you prefer? Share with me your own views about how you now start seeing layout. Which development you prefer for the 2-bed, 2-bath? Because we're going to jump straight into the very competitive 2-bed plus study. 2 beds plus study. So bear with me, we're going to do quite a fair bit of comparison here. So for the 2-bed plus study, the thing is for Grand Dunman, they have 4 different layouts. 4 different layouts just for 2-bed plus study. So you compare under you hint or blur. So let us take a look for, I think the typical, this is a very classic 2-bed plus study. Okay, so you can see how they did it in the 1-bedroom. But because the space is so tight, the 1 plus study. Okay, so this time around they really put their dining opposite a study area, which is good, not beside the toilet. But the another thing is that you're just by the stove. Just by the stove. Of course, 2-bed usually is not an open stove, right? But still, If I don't want to put my dining there, where can I put? I cannot find any other space. The only area that I can go is go to balcony. Okay, I cannot do part. I don't know. Because this has been highlighted by one of our community who shared in the comment that the layout of the dining is beside the stove. Yeah, which is quite true, right? So if today you don't have, if you don't want to put your dining by the stove, where can you put? You cannot put here, right? Here will be too tight. Then I cannot put in the center. It will be very weird. Then I have to only put in the balcony. This seems to be like the only space that you can put the dining if you really don't want the dining. So this configuration, I don't know, may not be the best in my opinion. Okay, may not be the best. But because they have 4 different types, so depending on your queue number, how much the prices, you can get to choose the other 3 different layouts. So this is the other layout, 775 square foot, 2-bed plus study. So this configuration is definitely, I prefer a little bit better because the dining now is away from the kitchen. It's away from the kitchen. It's tucked in by itself. So you have one space just for dining, which makes it a little bit more comfortable. And if you don't want this, you can always switch your dining here. Okay, you can put your dining here. So this is definitely a much more ideal layout. Of course, then you are by the toilet, opposite the toilet. Also, one thing you may want to do it, but always look at the other perspective also to make adjustments. So nothing much to shout for, because my favorite is the third. So when I say it's my best, of course, I might explain to you why, and which means if I can see it, other people also can see it, which means everybody also want to chong for this one. But I always have this rule whenever I buy property. If it's not meant to be that I don't get to buy it, I will not buy it. I don't care whether it's a FOMO, the hype, or I will lose out. I will not go for it. Okay, if the layout is something that is out of norm, or other people already buy my favorite layout, but I sacrifice lah. Okay lah, it's okay lah. I make do with the second or third kind of layout. I really strongly suggest homeowners like you yourself don't do it, because you have to get stuck with the property for a long time. And in the event you want to sell this property and the demand is not there, then the only thing that you can adjust is what? Your selling price, which is you're going to sacrifice some of your profits also later on. So do reach out if you really need a sensible research before you buy. Okay, you don't want to do the thing like some of them after watching my YouTube channels, they reach out to me, they buy already, then ask me, Edmund, did I make a wrong choice? Okay, this is very sad to hear. Very sad to hear. And it's not only one, it's a lot. A lot of them, after watching my YouTube channel, after I share with them about layout, prices, they all reach out to me and say that, hey, Edmund, I buy already, but now I think I regret after watching. I think I buy the wrong PSF. I think my facing not good. Can you help? You see, so there are many this kind of situations. So I always believe when you want to buy property, you do the research before you buy, no matter what happens on that day. Okay, because it's a very pressure cooker kind of environment, right? So you want to know, you want to make sense when you step in. You really want to do your homework. You really want to be very sensible in terms of selection from the pricing perspective, the layout perspective. If this unit that you wanted don't have, do you still want to go for the second type of layout or design or floor level? All this you have to make within that 5 to 10 minutes. Very pressure, right? Sometimes. Yeah, that's why I always believe to doing homework beforehand. And you need somebody who can anchor, who can really tell you, no, don't buy. If not, you sure buy one. Okay, 100% if you go yourself, you will sure buy, because FOMO, I don't have already, I better buy. Everybody is buying, I buy. So that is something that we have to be careful about. And I tell you, everybody will fall into this trap. Okay, so the third 2+ study is my favorite. Again, and I share with you why my favorite. First of all, you have a very wide foyer, which gives you a very comfortable entrance, which is great. I still have some provision here for my shoe, if I want to, or shoe rack. And because the study is tucked in the front, okay, which is why even if I have a sliding door, I can make it into a storage or a study area. And my dining is also, I have one space for dining itself. Okay, The only thing is because this dining is by the toilet, but I have to make do with something lah. Or if the dining I don't want, I just shift it to the balcony as per is. But this is the typical, I think one of the better layouts out of the rest. There's always the best out of the rest. Okay. So the another one I can kind of accept, okay, is the fourth type. So the third type and fourth type is something that I can make do with. Of course, we want the best of everything, but it's impossible. So for the fourth type of 2-bed plus study, I can accept this. Everything comfortable. Or I got my space for dining. I got my own space. I got a wider area. So I'm kind of by itself. But the only thing that I hiam okay, I kind of, if it can be better, we are all buying properties like that, is my entrance. I find it's a bit narrow, the kitchen width. Okay, it's a little bit narrow. And not here, sorry. The kitchen width is here. I find it's a little bit narrow. So it don't feel really good. But the thing is, dining is not facing the toilet. So if which one is more important to you, then you choose them accordingly to the layout. But I would say type 1 will sell the best, will sell better. Okay. And the reason is not because of layout. If you all want to see layout 1, I share with you my concerns, right? I mean, of course, it's the stove issue. I would say this one will still sell very well. And the reason is because they have the most stacks. There's most unit for this layout. And in the eyes of the developer, that means they will favor this layout to be the favorite among every single person. Okay, that's why they have 4 stacks, while the rest only have 1 stack. So how developer place the number of units, you will know which one they know they want to sell more, and they will deem that the buyers will choose layout 1. But I don't know. There are 4 layouts for you to choose, depending on which one you prefer, what's your objective, and how do you see them as an advantage. But of course, we also want to do a comparison. Within grand number, you do comparison is good, but you also must compare to the other 2 properties. You must also for the 2-bed plus study. So let us take a look. So this is Tembusu Grand. Tembusu Grand easier or even for the Continuum, they don't have so many different types until you confuse yourself. Okay, Tembusu Grand 1, 2 plus study means 1, 2 plus study, nothing else. Okay, so you can see, so now if you start comparing it to Grand Dunman, right, you see the kitchen, not open one. It's not an island kitchen for 2-bed plus study. Tembusu Grand a little bit more atas. Now you have a C-shaped kitchen. Tuck in very nicely away from your entire corridor. You are able to do your shoe cabinet here. And you still have a very comfortable walkway. You see? Your walkway area is still very comfortable, even if you do shoe cabinet. So this is something that typically your entrance to a unit is always very important. Your starting, of course, your study, you can do it in the pantry storage. But of course, the 2-bed plus study configuration, main difference is Grand Dunman are all dumbbell units. But for Tembusu Grand, you are still getting the typical corridor type of layout. But generally, space-wise, with the kitchen tucked in, with a C shape, now you can see the dining, you have 1 area by itself. If not, you can always choose it to put in the balcony, which is something very, very common nowadays. Very common. So let's take a look at the Continuum. Continuum have basically 2 different layouts, but they are almost the same. It's just at the size. So I'm going to show you the dumbbell unit, which is the Continuum. So Continuum is the same as Grand Dunman, 2-bed plus study, but it's a dumbbell concept. So although, right, the Continuum is a long shape, longish kitchen. But what they did was, if you can see, they did an edge here. Although it's a longish kitchen, but they kind of cut out a space like this so that you can put your dining, which is, I think, is a good touch. Because if not, your dining would just be beside your kitchen, longish kitchen, right? And again, because of the configuration for every unit in Continuum, they are able to build a storeroom for you. So they tuck the storeroom on the other side of stuff, where you basically get A and B. So it's 2 sides of a kitchen, which is, it allows you to have a wider walkway. I think this is a very important element, especially if you're buying a 2-bed plus study, or because this side where the store is, that's where your fridge is. So you have more than enough space for 2-person, 3-person to do preparation on each side. So this is definitely something worth to consider if you're doing a 2-bed plus study. And the study area is tucked in the center. Also, you kind of able to even combine this and this into like a mega walk-in wardrobe concept if you want to. So there are ways to play around with this. And because of the continuum is a en bloc, you can take away their what do you call it, walls if you want to. So there are different flexibility to do comparison with. And the favorite, I mean, my favorite, of course, the one that is shown in the show flat. Oh, they have basically everything is very similar to the one that I showed you before. But the thing is, this is a show flat unit, which if you go and see, you can see now they have a L-shaped kitchen. The L-shaped kitchen is also a provision for this space where you can put in the dining. So you have kind of a tucked-in area where you can put in your dining. And because of they put in their storeroom here, which is on the other side of things, because with the L-shaped kitchen, right? Wow, you can see the distance, your entrance very wide. So this is also, I think, a very, very good touch between this layout, dumbbell with Grand Dunman. So these are all small little things you must start comparing for layouts. And I'm only talking about layout, and you can hack certain things in the continuum to change out the things, make it a little bit bigger or smaller study or bigger study. It's really entirely up to you how you want to do it. Great. So also share with me, out of these three projects, which 2+ study you is your favorite? Which layout is your favorite? Share with me your views. I would love to see how do you determine from a consumer angle as well. Right? If not, for those who have just joined, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe and put in notifications so that whenever we do videos like this, you'll be notified of all this latest update about property. Let's go into 3-bedroom right now. A 3-bedroom typically takes a little bit more time because there's a lot of people always looking for 3-bedroom at the current moment. So we're going to do this comparison slowly, or 3-bedroom, because now this is because of the size, I try to compare similar sizes, okay, as much as possible. So we're going to compare Grand Dunman. This one is 958 square feet, right? We're going to compare to the Continuum 872. You may say that, Edmund, so small. Yeah, but we're going to compare the 872 as well as the 947. Okay, we're going to compare the two of them. And I'll share with you the reason why we are doing this kind of configuration. So let us take a look at the Grand Dunman 958 square feet. Okay, so I very transparent here. My role is not to sugarcoat that every property can buy, every layout can buy. I need to give you my real assessment so you can make a better informed decision for you and yourself. So this one, I don't know, man. 958 is a big space. And later on, if we compare to Continuum, you will see. Okay, so this is the layout of Grand Dunman. Grand Dunman, so the first thing that I look at it is, wow, your foyer very long. Okay, super long foyer. Give and take that Chinese, sometimes we say that, oh, you don't want it to see through into your unit. L shape helps. But the thing is, it's just like a corridor, okay, because I've seen units in some developments, they actually have windows here. Okay, windows. So it's a little bit unique, more light coming in. Then I can accept the kind of foyer. But this one is like you're walking through a dark tunnel. Give and take, you can do some cabinets here. Okay, or even an L-shaped one. Actually, no. You can do a cabinet there, you can do a cabinet here. It really depends on, but it's just that what is this space used for? It's a long foyer, okay. And not only that, I also saw that their 3rd bedroom long corridor into the unit. You can't do anything there, right? You can't build anything. You maybe put photo frame or painting on the wall, but you can't build anything, right? But it's such a long entrance into this. So I don't know, these two areas, the moment I see this, I was like, wow, okay. But I think there are also some positive aspect, or cannot be everything negative. or they have an enclosed kitchen. I think this is a good touch. And because of this, they have this L shape that you can do it for your dining. So the dining is tucked in, wider dining space. I think this is good. And the way that they configure this, they have actually a shorter corridor. A shorter corridor here. So the entire layout, even so, remember, this is a 958 square feet. That means typically for a 3-bedroom is reasonably sized. It should be comfortable. But then when I look at the master room, I was like, how come the master room is like your typical normal master room size or king bed, Later on, when I shared other developments layout, then you will understand what I mean. So now I just want to explain to you the Grand Dunman first. Then I will share with you the differences. So when I look at this, I was like, okay, fair. Typically, if you only look at this layout, you will buy. Because everything is there. I got an enclosed kitchen, I got everything. Okay, great, I buy. But when I start comparing it with the Continuum, and remember, Continuum is a smaller size unit at 872 square feet. Okay, 872 square foot, then what do I get? I also get C-shaped kitchen, stuck at one side. Okay, so this is one. I also can get extra storage. Okay, because all the units, I will still have a wider foyer entering. I still have my own space for my dining. Although this configuration, even though it's 872, so don't only look at size, because size is a disillusion, or it's a matter of how efficient you use that size space. Okay, that one is more important. So don't only just look at 872 are very small. I don't want to see. No. I always suggest homeowners, if you have not seen enough units, always go and experience yourself. Because I can tell you, 872 for the Continuum, this is a dumbbell layout. Okay, a dumbbell layout always uses a lot of efficiency of space, because there are no kind of corridor space that you're wasting. Okay, typically everybody loves the dumbbell unit because of that. And that's the reason why you can see a 872 square foot, they can still fit in a enclosed kitchen. They still can provide additional space for storage, and your dining is still also tucked in one corner itself. So this is something that we have to acknowledge. And can you see the master room? Okay, later, just take a look at the master room here versus the Grand Dunman. Later, I'll show you. The master room here, you have even a master room. Okay, let me clean this up. You have a master, that means you can put a king bed, right? You can still have side tables. Right, it's side tables. You still got sufficient space for this. But if you look at Grand Dunman, this is Grand Dunman, a bigger size unit, but what do you get for your size? It seems smaller, or that means even with side tables, basically don't have space really, that kind of situation. But the thing that I see, I find, okay, personally, I find like the entire Grand Dunman size is very compact, very tight. Everything kind of squeezed into a small frame. That is my feeling. I don't know whether do you think so or not. If you see the Grand Dunman versus the Continuum, do you feel it? Do you feel the typically Grand Dunman seems to be more compacted? So this is something that I find, I think this is my personal view, because of the long corridor as well, both long corridors, right? It allowed it to kind of be a bigger space, but these are space that is cannot use. So I have my reserve for this typical layout, even though the rest of the stuff are correct, because now I compare to other developments layout. Does it make sense? So Continuum, of course, this one is an 872 square feet, which is smaller than Grand Dunman, but the efficiency of a dumbbell layout allows the space to be used. But the Continuum also has a bigger layout, 947. Okay, 947 layout. So 947, this one is also smaller than Grand Dunman's 958. So this is 947. So this is a typical corridor layout. But even with the corridor bigger size, you can see they don't have much wasted space. If you want to consider the long walkway, this is only the long walkway for the corridor. But for the same, slightly smaller than Grand Dunman, their efficiency usage of space is also great, because they have their tuck-in kitchen, okay, and they have a storeroom here. So the layout is important, and their master room, I always enjoy seeing the master room there. It's huge, humongous, and seldom see, very rare now we can see master room able to fit a king bed, and you can still put like dressing table and side tables arrangement. So this is typically, if you compare, if you ask me to compare between a 947 and 958 for Grand Dunman, I will choose this size in terms of the layout much better, in my opinion. See, so of course for 3-bedroom there's many multiple configurations nowadays. Developers are building 3-bedroom compact, which is the 900 plus, 9,495 square foot, and then they have another bigger, slightly bigger one, which is close to 1,000 square foot. So the 990 square foot size for 3-bedroom are something that typically a lot of families also prefer. So we also want to kind of study that a little bit. And why do I want to use 990? Because that is the closest comparison to Grand Dunman's dual key. So if I start seeing Tembusu Grand, the 990 square foot, which is a 3-bedroom. Okay, you can see this is the biggest of all the 3-bedroom in Tembusu Grand. All right, so size is bigger, but also don't forget walkway is also longer. So you have an entire long corridor which you can do cabinets, no issue. Okay, you can do it all the way here. So that is part of the corridor that you want to make use of. And now they are able to fit in a dry kitchen. So this is something that is very interesting. They have a wet and then they have a dry. But the dry, I don't know. Kitchen wise, I think typically 2 sides for your wardrobe space, cabinet space, your kitchen top. But then they call it a dry kitchen here. But I don't know, like dry kitchen to me is always like an island. I feel this is more like a pantry. A pantry. Okay, it's just beside the on the back of the wall, ma. But if you want to call it as a dry kitchen, then your dry kitchen island should be here, lah. But if you have your island here, then no space for dining already. So I don't know. Sometimes it's just the way how they want to showcase it. But I sometimes I believe homeowners are not stupid, lah. If it's a cabinet, it's a cabinet. Why do we want to call it a dry kitchen concept? Or maybe I'm old school. I don't know. I always see whenever I do landed property, dry kitchen is always an island concept, and then you have your washing area, prep area, that kind of configuration. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that? What do you say about Tembusu Grand? They call it a dry kitchen. Do you agree that this is a dry kitchen? All right, share your views inside the comment. All right, great. So for the Grand Dunman side, okay, now if we use a 990 kind of configuration, then we will use their 3-bedroom dual key to kind of compare, because that's the only one that Grand Dunman has. And they have about, later on, I will show you more in details. All right, so this is Grand Dunman's dual key. Okay, their dual key, this is the first type. So this is a 2-bed plus 2 bath. Okay, your one side of it is 2-bed, 2 bath, and the other side is a studio. And this studio, I think a good touch that what they did here is they actually add in the balcony. I think this is a good touch the developer has done for the 3-bedroom dual key. They have a balcony. I'm not sure whether the 2-bed, 2 bath got balcony or not. Maybe let's go back and see whether the 2-bed, 2 bath dual key, does it has a balcony or not. Let's take a look. Where is it? I see so many layout. See under blur. Okay, 2-bed dual key don't have. Okay, don't have balcony. So which makes the 3-bed dual key interesting approach for the one of the room, because both units will have balcony. Balcony B, balcony A. Typically is a dual key law just for rental lah. Okay, so just take note. And of course, this one is a 1044 square foot. They do have a bigger type of 3-bedroom, but this 3-bedroom flexi is 1098 square feet. So we are comparing the 990 across Tembusu Grand, the Continuum, to a dual key in Grand Dunman, because that's the closest comparison. And then we go on to the next configuration. How many of you are still listening in, and then it's like, wow, there's a lot of things to take note for layout. Yeah, that is why our role is really to prep all these things before you even start buying a property. I think this is very important. So this is the 900 range. Then now we jump into the above 1,000 square foot unit for the 3-bedroom flexi. So this is Grand Dunman's 3-bedroom flexi, which is typically a very good layout. And we're going to compare to the Continuum 1087 layout later. Okay, this is TC's 1087. Because so Tembusu Grand only have 990. Also, that's why we will use the Continuum to compare to Grand Dunman in a short while. So Grand Dunman, you can see this time round, they have also a longer foyer. The foyer is slightly longer, just a long range. You can build your cabinet here, definitely. So I don't think there's much of an issue. I think the provision of space is important, but it will make your runway a little bit narrower. Also, it's like you're always walking into a corridor, which is something that I personally typically don't like. Yeah, it's kind of dark and kind of thing, and you kind of see through all the way also, or as you walk in. So it's like you go dark and then you go bright, kind of concept. Okay, yeah. So which one makes more sense? Do we prefer a longer foyer or a shorter foyer? Share your views inside the comment also. So this one will be comfortable. And typically this is a corridor layout, which means you also have a long corridor, which is definitely fine because long corridor gives us, the own privacy or space. And for the 3-bedroom flexi, developers are able to fit in a storeroom here. So just do take note. I don't think I have much problems with this layout. I think it's very well done. You have an enclosed kitchen, you have a proper yard area, okay, which is something is important, and you have dual entrance to the storeroom. So depending on what you want to make use of it. Also, the dining is kind of tucked in, so you have space for the layout for the dining. Yeah, so this is a typical. I think this is one of the nicer ones when I see Grand Dunman, one of the nicer one. And let us compare this to the Continuum. So we're going to compare the 1087, slightly smaller in terms of size, and whether the two pans out well or not. So for the Continuum, instead of a longish walkway, you get a L-shaped foyer. Also, you can do your cabinets here, you can do your cabinets here, and yet you still have a good runway into the unit. Your kitchen is tucked in one side. The difference is, right, for the Continuum, right, they did a half window concept here. Okay, they did a half concept here. Yeah. Okay, so the Continuum is a half concept. Whereas if you look at the Grand Dunman, so this is also another good touch that I see. Theirs is a full window in the kitchen to see into the dining and living. So this is also a good touch that I see from Grand Dunman. Whereas for the Continuum is only half. So I mean, I'm not say half, but L-shape concept. So it allows sunlight to also go into your unit, which is definitely important, especially most of the time we always find kitchen a little bit too dark. So the difference between Grand Dunman and Continuum yard area is that Grand Dunman has their own yard space, whereas for the Continuum is a shed kind of concept, or shed yard. But it's still a yard. It's just that the space may not be by itself, that you can do more things. But give and take that, Continuum always have their storeroom. This is a given for all the units, and another household shelter space. So Grand Dunman only has one store, and then that is a study. Or remember, that is a study that you can configure it into a storeroom or whatever. But this one don't have. This one is purely for storage. So they are slightly smaller size, but provision of storage is there, and typical corridor layout. And I think this, if you have been to see the show flat unit, you will see that the master room is humongous. I would say humongous, or really, really big. And you can actually do quite a fair bit, even a dressing table, additional workspace. If you really want to put it into the master room, you can quite a fair bit of things you can do for the master room as well. Yeah, so I think the bedrooms, I think typically all will be able to fit in queen bed. I think that is definitely better. But you do take note, okay, the balcony size for Grand Dunman is bigger. Also, that also adds up the space usage. And the only difference I see in this two is that the common toilet. Okay, let's clean this up and let's start studying the common toilet a little bit. Okay, so this is Grand Dunman's common toilet. Common toilet is here. Okay, yeah. I don't know, but this is maybe something that it's not really important to you as a homeowner, but to me, I spot things like this, like, oh, I should do it this way. Okay, so if you can see here, this is the window of your Grand Dunman's common bath, or a very tiny one by the toilet bowl. But typically, a window for toilet, we want it to be by where? At least by the shower area, so that you can have ventilation and everything, right? And let's look at continuum common bath. Okay, the common bath, you can see their windows is bigger and is by the shower area. So definitely this is, most homeowners miss out small things like this. Also, I want to share with you, and it makes more sense to have a bigger window always. Since you're buying a 3-bedroom, you want to not deal with any mechanical ventilation. You want to have open window combination, ventilation, very important. So of course, for the continuum again, if you want to combine some of the rooms, the walls can be hacked. So that is also another flexibility that you can do. So I at the end of the day, when I compare continuum 1087 versus Grand Dunman 1098, my question is, where does the additional size go to? I always like to find out where, okay, it's bigger, yes, I know, but where does it go? Where does it go? So of course, I know Grand Dunman, their balcony is slightly bigger than the continuum, so maybe the space goes there. I also believe perhaps the additional yard location or is where the size goes, the balcony. These are all things that I see where the size, where we are paying goes, or we must know when we pay a certain property price, where the space go to, I want to make use of it. Yeah. So, but I mean, it seems a little bit little from my years of studying floor plans. I believe the rooms will be compromised a little bit. I don't know, because of all this additional space. So do your due diligence, okay? Please do your due diligence. I believe when I have the actual dimensions, maybe I will update you guys again. All right. So if you want which specific layout types that you find that you really want to explore further, reach out to me. I can also provide you with another set where I will painstakingly go and do the dimension also for you guys. All right. Yeah, so this is Grand Dunman and the continuum. Like what we do here, we have all the sizes and everything, so that you can once and for all see it very, very clearly, or very clearly. Then the next one that we're going to compare is the 1,119 square foot unit, which is a 3-bed plus study. Okay, and they have, this is type number 1 only, or type number 1. So we're going to compare this to Tembusu Grand's 1173. So we're going to compare to Tembusu Grand 1173 square foot. Okay, very important. Okay. So let us take a look at this. In closer comparison, you can see that now different already. The foyer is a bit more squarish, shorter. So with how should I call it? With a better improvement also comes with other issues always. Also, but for this one, I think typically you can still fit in your cabinet here. No issue. Even your cabinet is an L shape. I think it's still reasonably comfortable, or in terms of your entrance for foyer, since it's shorter. And for this configuration, I think one of the good touch. That's why what Grand Dunman is trying to do is, whatever Tembusu Grand and the Continuum has, I want to have, but I want to have more types. That's why for the 3-bedroom, they have a study, okay, to compare. Also to add in this. So they are trying to, make it in between. So that is so the key thing is that I want to ask every one of you here, right? I mean, typically the rest of the sizes layout is very similar to the 3-bedroom that we just go through. So I'm not going to cover too much of it. But I just want to ask everybody here, if today given a choice, right? Will you buy a 3-bed plus 1 study like this? And take note, your study maybe can only fit in, I don't know, a single bed. Okay, a single bed. even though it's enclosed, will you go for a 3-bed plus study, or you will just spend more to get a 4-bedroom? Okay, which one will you choose? A 3-bed plus study, or you just go all out for a proper 4-bedroom so that you can put in even a twin bed and you can change it into a study room if you want to? Yeah, so share with me your views, because I think sometimes when we are studying our affordability, our layout, the number of room size that we want, there are many times sometimes we just shortchange ourselves and say that, yeah, since I cannot pay for a bigger unit, I just accept to buy this 3 plus study. I mean, there are some with limitation in terms of the affordability. They 安慰自己, they calm themselves. Okay, I just accept this. Nothing wrong, nothing right. I just want to hear from the community here. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? If given a choice, would you go for 3 plus study, or I would rather just stretch myself a little bit more to just buy a proper 4-bedroom, and I have a choice to change that room into maybe a proper bedroom or even a study or a combination. You have more flexibility. So of course, price points is important. If it's really out of your way, then no choice. Then if the affordability for 4-bedroom is too high, then you have to ask yourself, will you really need to pay for a 3 plus study, or a 3-bedroom can surface? So you can see there's so many different questions we have to ask ourselves just by looking at layout. But typically when I look at this, I don't know. I mean, from the kitchen perspective, or just the kitchen, somehow I find that this is like your typical BTO HDB already, right? Typical, or very typical. Or that you can, build in some, I don't know what. The HDB side always like sliding window, a sliding door, or if you want to do it. But most of them also open it up now. So the key thing is that this layout should be the most popular one. Okay, because developer load in 6 stacks in total and good facing. So I presume this will be one of the best choice for consumers to purchase. I think with the additional space, it does allow you to buy this property and then stay there a little bit longer. But the question is, if the developer load in more units and the facings are great, how much extra premium will we go? Will they add on a high premium or a low premium? That one we have to wait to see whether the prices make sense or not. You see, so another thing that I like for this development, this layout, is that they have their kitchen window full-fledged to see out into the dining and living, which allow sunlight lights to go in and you can see through. So this is the part where unfortunately the Tembusu Grand lose out, or for a very similar size layout. So let us take a look at Tembusu Grand right now. So Tembusu Grand, they are showing this as the what do you call it? The show flat unit. Or that's why I say the kitchen for Tembusu Grand lose out, because this is not a window. I personally prefer a window, although you cannot put any. I mean, the reason why they do this is because they want to fit in their what? Dry kitchen, a pantry. So they want to fit in it. That's why they don't do a window there. But I prefer a window. That is my point of view, because I like the sunlight to come in and people can see what you're preparing. Kind of a little bit openness in terms of the layout. But the rest of it is typically quite the same. It's just how they position, whether it's a landscape or a horizontal or vertical kind of design. Yeah, so quite sad sometimes when we look at layout, and then there are small little things that actually developers can do better, but they also have their own constraints in terms of building, layout, type, how they place it. There's never one layout that is 100% perfect, or same like property. Any projects that you buy is not 100% show best. Okay, there's always better ones coming up as the policies change, architecture change, consumer behavior changes. All right, so we will have to reduce as much risk as we can every single time. And so if let's say today you are already kind of exploring these 2 to 3 properties, and you kind of figure out like, okay, I want to buy, I know I want to buy, but I want to make sure I make a safer choice. But do reach out to us, because we do a very comprehensive analysis and comparison for all our clients before they even, whether it's balloting or buy the property, because we want to compare quite a fair bit, even comparing to neighborhood, the neighbors project in terms of layout. Okay, we have to, whether it's a resale, new one, we still have to compare. That's the extensiveness we go into before just buying a property. Yeah. Because why? We have this objective, right? Buying is easy. Today, if I help you to buy a property, I must be able to help you sell later on in the end with ease, okay, at a highest price. So that's why we rather do more homework right now to buy, then later when you want to sell, you get stuck. And then the only thing that can come down is your pricing. You have to sell cheaper. All right, so Tembusu Grand, yeah, some small little touches, a little bit sad. Of course, then when we look at the continuum, okay, there are 3+ study. Of course, their continuum 3+ study is bigger or it's quite big. It's 1,200, almost 1,250 square foot. So in comparison to the rest are only 1,100 plus. So for the continuum, this is another more premium. Okay, so the moment when the continuum goes 3+ study, they go premium already. Why? Because they have a private lift already. So this is where it stands out among the rest of the other developments. Do the others also have the private lift? They have. So we're going to compare also a different type of layout. So this is the show flat one. They have a private lift and of course your classic balcony space that goes into your living and your kitchen. This is a signature of the developer. Also, a lot of people like this because it allows the ventilation and you kind of having a landscape balcony space, not only just in your living hall, but your kitchen. And if you have been to the show flat, you will realize that, wow, this is a full-fledged window that overlooks into the kitchen. So these are all, you can feel that the moment when the layout and the things that they put in is a little bit different with private lift, the entire feeling becomes a little bit more premium. And I think it sets that today, if you want to go into District 15, you want to have some form of premium in your property. And this is kind of a villa kind of design. Why do I say so? Because you have all the, let me see, you have all the kind of gathering area in one zone, and then you have your living quarters on the other side. So it's like a villa, right? Villa usually have one area where you can entertain your friends, you can chill. Then when you want to go and sleep, you have your own living quarters. So this is kind of how they have designed this 3+ study premium kind of configuration. And one thing to take note, whenever you have lift, right, you have a private lift, there's always a dual entrance. Of course, for the guests, okay, let me clean this up a little bit. Okay, for the guests, they will come in from here lah. Then when at the end of the day, you still have a service yard. Also, if you are buying grocery, you don't need to enter into your living hall. You can use your service yard to put all your groceries into the kitchen, into the storeroom. And even for Grab drivers, for food delivery, they will use the yard instead of going through your private lift. So this is something I think is quite common across the road, across everywhere. But I think one client actually joked with me lah, I think which is kind of valid. So share with me your views if this is also something that you're a little bit concerned about. He said that, now that the store, kitchen, everything is all at one corner, right? And the helper's quarters is also there. Wow, so even if the helper go out by herself to go and do other things, actually nobody knows one, because everybody is stuck on the other side. So I said, hey, actually quite valid. But of course, when you have a helper, you also, trust the helper to help you out lah. But technically, the helper will have the best of the space, everything on her own, and then she can do whatever she wants. But is this going to be a concern for you? Share with me your comments inside the chat if you find that this kind of private space for the helper is also can be a concern for you moving forward next time. Okay, so when I do continuum premium, then we will start going back into Grand Dunman premium, because Grand Dunman also has their 3-bedroom with lift. So let us take a look at the difference for their 3-bedroom premium. So this one is also with the private lift. So that's how you can see we do the comparison. Okay, size wise, of course, this one is also bigger, 1,400 plus square foot. Okay, much bigger than the continuum at 1,200 plus. This is 1,400 plus really. So for Grand Dunman, they have this, but this is only in the Grand Tower, only one block. The Grand Tower side, then they have this private lift. So we also want to compare this. So take note, this is just a 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom, and same thing, you have your foyer where you go into your store. So you have different entrances and exit, all different. Okay, and for this development, of course, they also do another dry pantry like Tembusu Grand, okay, dry pantry area. But the unique part about this premiumness is for the Grand Tower, right, is they actually have a powder room. Oh, wow, this one interesting. Or a powder room for guests. So instead of using your common bedroom toilet, they can use this powder room. And for this configuration, it seems like the entire space and the size of the bedrooms are much bigger. You can take note from the master room. I don't know, but I find maybe it's a bit too big. It's giant. Or you have a walk-in wardrobe. You can have put in a dressing table, but then yet you still have space here and here. Wow, I don't know, man. What do I want to put in? Do I want to put in a workstation? Maybe I want to cut out half of it, partition it into, I don't know, additional wardrobe space. I think I can put in big massage chair, also no issue inside this unit. Yeah, so I don't know. Do we really need that such a big space in master room or not? I can even put in an additional queen bed. How many of you agree? I can put in additional queen bed or even another king bed inside this. So what if I can use that space for a bigger living area or maybe one more extra room? Maybe I will, because the size is 1475. You can easily fit in a 4-room. All right. But why did the developer not do it? That's my question. So of course, this one is huge, humongous. Then the question, if let's say we use something to compare closer to the Continuum just now at about 1,200 plus square foot, this is the other one. This is the closer 2-bedroom, but this one don't have private lift but the configuration is, this is a 4-bedroom now. This is a 4-bedroom unit. And I asked myself, for Grand Dunman 1292 square foot, which is a 4-bedroom, and for the Continuum is a 1227, and they also have 1292 size. Later on we will take a look at it. Then my question is, where the size goes to for Grand Dunman? Again, I always have this question, where does the size go to? See, for Continuum is only 1227. They also have one is 1292, but where does the space go? That is something I question mark also. Or I question mark where the space goes. Later on we will take a look on the size. So let's take a look at the layout. Typical, I think a few things that I take note long corridor. I always look at for this kind of thing. So it does make sense or for us to kind of save space. Of course, your long corridor, typically for a 3-bedroom, you want to do a dumbbell. Not all the developers will do it, but let's look at where the space goes, because this is a slightly bigger unit comparison. So again, they have their kitchen space where the window is. They have their own yard area, which is typically great. And this time around, they have a household shelter. So this one, the way I see is definitely the space goes into that they have a junior master suite. Because the junior master comes with their own toilet. So typically, if let's say for the 4-bedroom, sometimes they will have to fit in 3 bathroom already. So that's why they must always have a junior master room there. And this typically, if let's compare it to the 4-bedroom in the Continuum, or 4-bedroom Continuum. So 4-bedroom Continuum is slightly smaller in terms of space, 1227. So we're talking about easily 60 square feet different, 60 square feet. Then I also ask myself, so where does Grand Dunman's space go? Seems like everything is more compact, but yet for Continuum with a smaller size, they are able to fit in almost the same design. And this time now is different. For Continuum, they have a wet kitchen, proper wet kitchen with your storeroom, everything inside, additional storeroom. So you have one storeroom here, household shelter, you can add it as a storeroom. But this time around, they have a proper dry kitchen. It's not a pantry. They have a proper dry kitchen approach where you can have an island for prep and then your dining here. So this is definitely a lot different in comparison. So one thing that sets out is that this one, they don't have a junior master. So take note, the bedrooms, 1, 2, 3, all will share one toilet. Okay, all will share one bath. So this is the main difference with the additional space, because Grand Dunman actually has a additional junior master suite. So this is something But if let's say we look at the other, so there are basically a few layout for the condominium. The other one is slightly bigger at 1, 2, sorry, this one is the same actually. Oh yeah, same layout. Yeah, so let's compare to Tembusu Grand. Okay, Tembusu Grand, the moment you go into their 4-bedroom, they go big. They also go big. Okay, 1452 square feet. Wow, humongous. Oh, so this one, this time around very different. You see, they can really do a dry kitchen. Okay, island dry kitchen already. You still have your wet kitchen here. So the layout, I think this is very comfortable. And this 4-bedroom, which is the show flat unit, they have their junior master. Okay, their junior master. So they have 1, 2, 3 bedroom, and then they have 1, 2 bath for the common rooms. Of course, your master will always have their own. So this is more comparable to Grand Dunman's 4-bedroom in terms of configuration. But this one is huge, almost 200 square foot bigger than Grand Dunman, and which means your entire space for 4-bedroom goes better. Or they always say, go big or go home. Or go big or go home. Of course, have to calculate your affordability lah. Or don't just take, the go big, then cannot pay. Then tough. Also, 4-bedroom, there's a different configuration for Grand Dunman. They also have their premium block where the private lift is. So this is the private lift concept, which is 1432. So we're going to do a comparison with this to Tembusu, the Continuum. Okay, but Continuum, the jump of square feet is huge. Or if you compare for their 4-bedroom with private lift, more premium one. Also for Grand Dunman, again, my outlook is not a dry kitchen, or it's more of a pantry. Or the rest of the approach, I think, is quite typical for any of the 3 bedrooms, because there's so much that they can do. Again, I don't personally prefer long walkway like this. Yeah, I always find that it's a waste of space. But in order to carve out a more private area, or typically more private, this could work also. Yeah. So, but of course, anyone who's going for 4-bedroom units, I will just go for premium. I will just whack, because you definitely have the ability, just go for something even bigger, something even better. So one thing that I also wondering, how 1,432 square foot can fit in. So again, it comes back to like everything in Grand Dunman seems to be very, very compact. Do you think so? After I shared with you so many different layout types and you have seen it yourself, do you find like the development kind of compact, and then with the number of units, I don't know, the entire area like very claustrophobic lah. That's my feel. Not that it's not a good project. Okay, if you're buying for rental, the close proximity to MRT, I think wins hands down. But it's just that from a living human being kind of style, right? Would I want such a compact kind of layout when I am paying for 4-bedroom? I want to have the grandness. All right, because the Continuum 1,690 square feet 4-bedroom. I tell you, is huge. Of course, with such a big size, you cannot don't have the corridor walkway lah. You cannot don't have, sure have one. So the design for this, the Grand Dunman one is a very more typical one. But usage of the space is lesser. This is a more unique because they have tucked the entire lift one zone in the center, which means that all around you have all the corridors, which of course it takes out the space. But if you're buying a 4-bedroom, you also want to have some privacy lah. Or basically you can almost like run inside the unit. Or you can run inside the unit, and then it may get lost sometimes. I don't know, for kids sometimes I don't know where you're going. But typically I think this is a very unique layout that I've seldom see, and it does need a little bit time to get used to how the 4-bedroom types are going to be done. Because I can share with you, when I saw this, I find that developer has definitely given it a lot of thought. Because first of all, they give a very landscape kind of balcony, which typically if you are having a walkway kind of layout, right, you don't get the grandness, right? But this one, because it's 4-bedroom premium, they want to give it the grandness. That's why they give you a landscape balcony. And every unit has their own space. Like for example, your junior master is stuck in one corner, that you have your own area to kind of enjoy your privacy. And kind of everything is done in a way. This is where the kitchen area is. Then your living quarters in one side. You see, so they kind of separated all the zones like a villa for that premium ability. So I think this is a good touch. Of course, for the Continuum, if you compare the similar type, which is the Grand Series of Grand Dunman, their size also goes huge. All their size also go huge. So they go all the way to 1,009 already. So it's like, that's why I say, the bigger the better. The bigger the better. And this is also, I think, perhaps Grand Dunman also model this after Continuum, because you can see very similar. Okay, everything very similar to the Continuum, but size bigger. So if money is really not an issue, right? Go big or go home. Or just go big. I don't think it'll be much an issue. And by staying in a 4-bedroom, it's very, very comfortable. Okay, you can stay for many, many, many years and don't believe. But my 4-bedroom type, right? I mean, this is not my favorite. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Okay, this is my favorite. Okay, this 4-bedroom in Grand Dunman under the Grand Block one is my favorite because they managed to put a 4-bedroom dual key kind of concept here, which is I think price also will be low lah. I personally, after staying in a unit right now that I have a landscape balcony and landscape living hall and dining, I tell you, I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it a lot actually. So it's very rare to get layouts with a landscape this way nowadays. And can you imagine you come out from a private lift, what do you get? The massive width of your entrance. So this is a very, very important point, especially if you're going for premium type of design. And typically, this unit, I need to double check on the facing. Of course, if you are able to get the unblocked kind of facing, wow, spectacular. But it does come with a price. Don't forget. Also, what they have done is they tuck in the junior master suite at one corner, which is why the dumbbell unit, and then the other 3 units here. So you can see it's almost like a separation kind of concept here. So this is definitely nice. I think this is really my favorite, my favorite, and the kitchen area is all tucked in another one corner. So yeah, let me save up more so that I can dream of owning even a bigger property like this. But the question also comes if I have the ability to buy this property, will I go for this or would I maybe even consider a landed property? Question mark. Okay, share with me your views. If let's say today you are able to buy a property that is 4 million, 4.5, 4.8 million, will you go for a property like this or will you rather choose a landed property? Share with me your views. No right or wrong answer because everybody's preference is very, very different. But our objective of owning the property is important. So is this also one of the nicest layout that you have seen so far? If it is, comment yourself inside the chat that the 4-bedroom second type is your favorite inside the comment. Thank you so much. Okay, now let us go into the final layout, which is we call it the giant of the giant, which is the 5-bedroom. So 5-bedroom, of course, even for the Grand Dunman, Tembusu Grand, and the Continuum, we do have the 5-bedroom unit. So this is like the battle of the biggest 3. Size-wise, the Grand Dunman one is 1,690. Okay, the rest of it later on I'll share with you. The sizes are typically quite still bigger. Grand Dunman, that's why everything is very compact, I find. Layout-wise is very similar to the 4-bedroom just now I show you. And everything is tucked in one corner. I think you can't run too far away from this. But I personally feel this is a little bit of a compact 5-bedroom. A compact 5-bedroom. Because later on, the closest that we can compare is Tembusu Grand at 1,700 square feet. Later on, we will take a look and see what's the main difference between these two. Very important. So I think with a 5-bedroom, what you want to have is as many rooms as possible. So of course, some of the rooms you will have to share bath, which is typically you have 2 units to share 1 bath. Okay, 2 units to share 1 bath typically. And size-wise for the kitchen will be more than big enough, even the living hall, to cater to 5-bedroom units. So multi-generation families, I think now are very, very common. So if you want to consolidate some of your siblings' property and then to stay together, I think a 5-bedroom unit typically works a lot. and you can use the other names to go and invest in other properties. So that is also something that we advise our clients with if they are looking into all staying under one roof. But let's look at Tembusu Grand layout. So Grand Dunman is 1,690 square feet. Very close to Tembusu Grand, 1,711 square feet. So layout wise, not much differences. So the only thing for Tembusu Grand is they don't do private lift. So which means your 1,711 are all usable space, a lot, no extra lift, foyer, that kind of space to lose. And for Tembusu Grand, they even have a very long balcony space where one of the bedroom can access. So depending on who's your favorite child, whether they get a balcony space or not. Okay, yeah. So this is I think very comfortable space, and the usage is definitely a lot, because if you can see the master room, or they have very comfortable even walk-in wardrobe, kind of a two-side cabinet, two-side wardrobe space. Yeah, so very similar to Grand Dunman, very similar. And the typical type of homeowners, they will, I mean, it really depends whether you like to have private lift or not. Personally, for myself, I can do without. Okay, I prefer space. Okay, I put space as a more priority in a bigger premium kind of property type, like 4 and 5 bedroom. I no need to have the private lift, but I rather have space. So that is my own opinion. What about you? Do you actually also prefer a private lift if you go to buy a 4 and 5 bedroom type of unit? So the largest comparable for 5 bedroom Grand Dunman, although Grand Dunman is only 1,690, right? Of course, when we do 5 bedroom units, we also want to compare not only just Tembusu Grand, you also want to compare the Continuum. So Continuum one is giant, 1,009. So it's really go all out in terms of the premium size. Yeah. So that's why that's the reason why 4 bedroom and 5 bedroom generally is all about usage of space. Okay. And how big I can go in terms of the width and the length. And then how grand can I have it? That's usually the 4 and 5 bedroom proposition I will advise my clients on whenever we go for it. So typical for the Continuum, I think they also have done it very nicely. So very similar to their 4 bedroom units, where they tuck in different things in the center, and then you can run around. You run around. So I think the 5 bedrooms is self-explanatory. You will have your own private space. You have a landscape kind of balcony here. So very similar to their 4 bedroom, and they even have their junior master suite tucked in one corner. Yep. So when you look at both, actually all the 3 different types of properties, you can see that there's actually a huge difference between all the 1 to 5 bedroom types, the different developments. And of course, it still boils down to what's your needs for buying a property, whether affordability is the first thing that you should look at. How does the layout pan for you, not only just for now, but for 3, 5, or even 8 years down the road? Yeah, 8 years down the road. Okay. So one of the biggest risks or trap that I always see in homeowners whenever, let's say for example, now the hottest topic is Grand Dunman inside the East, right? Of course, you have many different launches. It's the same thing because there's so many new launches coming up this year, right? You will be confused with what is your direction. And we typically, when we hear something other people are talking about, we want to explore it further. And then at the end of the day, we got so confused that we just anyhow buy. Or worst thing is you don't even buy at all. So that's the reason why we have our advisory consultations with clients like you. You know, that you kind of lost out there because there's just so many noises, so many information that you cannot make sense of what you want to do. All right, do reach out to us. We have a very clear, systematic way of guiding every single one into properties. And that's where you are able to be more confident about your own selection and going in with your eyes wide open. I think this is the most important. You don't want to go in and then 6:30. And after buying, then reach out to us and say, Edmund, I think I buy wrongly. Well, I don't think that is the right way to do it. Okay, I'm more kiasu kiasi, so I always believe in preparation first. and then go in with a proper strategy. All right, be it in terms of size, in terms of layout, in terms of floor level, and most importantly is price. Or even to the extent, if is this project ideal for you in the next 5 to 10 years? Perhaps the project that you thought you wanted was actually not. So go through with us to get more clarity in terms of your direction, your plan. Before we start going into the details of the selection, I think you yourself can feel safer. So do you enjoy the layout comparison just like this? And if you find that this is very important, remember this layout is just one of the 5 points in our analysis that we help our clients to buy property in. And if you really want a more personalized approach for buying properties, reach out to us. We will definitely more than willing to go through a discussion and assessment to see how we can go on this journey together with you. And based on layout, if this is the layout that you find that is very interesting and you know you want to have more such things so that you can make better informed decision, all right, just share with us what other type of properties you like us to do a review on, whether it's the layout, whether it's the pricing, whether it's the project itself. We'll be more than willing to do some comparison and let's better more layouts, designs, even the project, the prices. So we as busy professionals and homeowners are able to make logical decisions using data, using analysis, as well as using numbers to determine our purchase. Okay, so I hope that today this session helps you. I know it's very long because there's just so many different layouts, but now you can see why choosing a layout takes a lot of time. And if one wrong choice could actually lose you hundreds of $1,000s in the wrong property, I believe you should start earlier in terms of preparation to make sure everything goes in line before we start buying. All right, with that, this is Edmund. I hope that you like my videos and my sharing. Do remember to subscribe, share with us your views, what are the things that you like us to actually share more, and also take note of clicking on the notification bell. So every time when there's new videos, you'll be notified in the latest of the updates of properties. With that, this is Edmund Tan signing off. I see you guys real soon. Cheers.